Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at how I cut a hole in my computer, hoping to improve its cooling performance. Thanks for watching. Before we jump in and start talking about the computer, I need you guys to do me a favor. If you enjoy Twitter, please go follow me on Twitter. If you enjoy Instagram, please go follow me on Instagram. If you enjoy Twitch, please go follow me on Twitch. You guys are the best. Also, if you feel so inclined and enjoys today's video, please consider subscribing. Back in January, I built my first PC and was stoked about it and ran into a ton of problems in doing so, mainly because I had no idea what I was doing. But over the course of the last few months, including but not limited to moving my computer into a tiny little closet, one of the biggest problems I've run into is the cooling performance on my PC. For normal, everyday use, the PC was working perfectly, but on a couple demanding tasks, I started to notice that my computer was getting a little warm. I always run MSI Afterburner to overclock my GPU and monitor temperatures and performance and usage. And I was noticing while rendering video for YouTube that my CPU temperature was climbing to around 89 degrees Celsius. Did a little Google search because that made me uncomfortable, and I come to find that really that's probably okay. But just being a guy who's wanting to invest in this computer and have it for a long time and really take care of it, I thought to myself, there's got to be something better I can do there to lower those temperatures and hopefully increase the life of my CPU. I don't even know if that's how it works. That's just how I think it works. So I started to look at my options. I knew that there were a few different things contributing to the high heat on my computer. I knew that the room that it was in did not help, but I had kind of limited myself to that room because of our apartment layout and how much effort I'd already put into making that my dedicated office space. I had a sneaky suspicion that the computer case I had chosen didn't exactly have the best airflow for helping me cool off my PC components. You see, when I was building my computer back in January, I was going with just what I could find on the internet about what was popular and what people liked and what honestly looked nice, because I think a nice looking computer is nice. So I found and ran into and chose the NZXT H510. It's a beautiful case. NZXT is a well-known and well-respected brand in the computer building environment. So I thought, so I still think. I could be wrong about that. I'm looking at the case, and if you look at the case, it's got a glass panel on the side. On the front is just straight aluminum, and then on the front side, there's this tiny little row of small little holes for intake, for air intake. And I'm thinking to myself, that doesn't seem very efficient for getting cool air into the case and then blowing hot air out of the case. So what I decided to do was try and cut a hole in the front of that case, thinking if I made the hole bigger, that would probably allow more cool air into the case, cool off the hot components, and then even more cool air to push the hot air out the back. So here's what I did. Before that, this is not an official recommendation. I am not recommending that anyone go and do anything that I did to my computer case. It is probably dangerous and should not be done by anybody that is not a professional and does not have professional power tools and professional experience modifying hardware like this. Today's video is simply an opportunity to share with you what I did, probably shouldn't have done, but the results of doing so. So I grabbed my computer, I pulled all of the parts out of it, laid them off to the side, took my empty case, and hopped over to my buddy Ben's house, who has a full shop in his basement and a couple of power tools that we figured we could throw at the case to see what happened. To be completely honest with you, taking the case over to his house, I kind of thought it was going to be easy. The metal in the case wasn't very thick, and I thought it would just take some, good tin snips or a circular saw or some type of a blade or a rotor. My experience with machinery is showing here. And I thought, man, we're just going to be able to cut this out real quick and it's going to be good to go. And I was wrong. It took us multiple hours and a lot of effort and safety goggles and gloves and a couple burns and smoke to finally get this rectangle cut out of the front of my computer. On Amazon, I was able to find a few magnetic mesh filters to slap over this hole to keep as much dust as possible from getting in the computer. And voila, I've got a computer case modified to have a bigger air intake, and I bring that puppy home and I throw all my parts back into it. And on my first stress test, the same test I ran to figure out how hot my computer was getting, I went from 89 degrees to 82 degrees. And immediately I was stoked about that. All I did was change the hole. I had the same intake fans and added the big hole in the front, and I dropped 5 degrees on the same test, same conditions. Pumped about that. So then what I went ahead and do is ordered a couple more fans on Amazon, threw 2 more air intakes. So now I've got 2 air intakes in the front, 2 outtakes, exhaust fans in the back. And I run the same test. The test was not very scientific. All I did was I rendered the same video 2 times back to back to give the CPU as much run for its money as I possibly could do. And on the third test, with the hole and the filter and the 2 new fans, my final temperature read as a max of 75 degrees Celsius. And I was absolutely stoked about those results. And in fact, I'm still absolutely stoked about those results. I am not recommending you do this to your case. Am I happy I did it to my case? Yes. I think it looks good. I think it improves the airflow quality, and it worked out for me. And I can't officially recommend it because I don't know if it'll work out for you. It'll absolutely, get rid of any kind of warranty you have on your computer case. Just buy a computer case that already has mesh on the front or a better air intake system. Sorry, NZXT. But I thought you might enjoy hearing about my experience cutting a giant hole in the front of my perfectly fine computer case. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.